Welcome back, guys. In this video, we're going to be talking about the differences between the LahZit and the Alberta Log Peelers. I've got a project coming up where I'm going to be building a tiny trailer, so I need these soft pine logs peeled, and they're all dead trees that I reclaimed from the forest. So I'm going to be comparing both of these bark peelers in this video, and I'm going to get into the finish that they provide, any issues that I found as I use the two different bark peelers, and we're going to get after it right now. Right up front, you have to consider the application you are peeling logs for. I am building a tiny cabin on an old RV camper frame that I reinforced, and I want to use exposed logs for the framing. For this reason, I wanted something that was going to peel the logs to a smooth finish, and although both did the job nicely, there were definitely some big differences. If you're new to this channel, my name is Michael Patterson. My family and I are trying to get a campground approved on 113 acres in Sanford, Maine. In this channel, we post videos on the equipment that we purchase to build out the campground, the approval process of working with the town and making sure that we're applying or conforming to all the rules. We also talk about the opposition from the neighbors because we've had quite a bit of that. So if those are the types of things that you would like to learn about, click subscribe and tap the bell so that you'll be the first to know when we post another video. The logs I'm peeling in this video are all dead softwood trees. Some have probably been dead for 10 plus years. None of them were alive when I cut them up. When I was able to, I peeled the bark off by hand, but if the wood underneath the bark was a bit punky because it was starting to rot, I used the peeler to grind the log down to solid wood. Now, I attached both of these log peeling discs to a large Makita 9-inch angle grinder. The grinder is an absolute beast and has plenty of power to operate either disc, even over tough knots. I took the default depth setting on both peelings, and this could be why I found that the LahZit took less material on a single pass, which made it easier to handle. The Alberta disc takes more material on each pass and is much more difficult to handle and tired me out quicker. In fairness, however, both discs provide adjustable blade cutting depths, and I did not tinker with this. I really like the finish I was getting with both log peelers, but there is definitely a difference. Because the LahZit took less material, it left a great finish that was closer to the look of a log that I simply peeled the bark off, and I really like that. I also noticed that the LahZit would leave these red marks on the wood that it picked up from the bark. I'm not planning on sanding these logs, and I didn't like these red and brown marks. On the other hand, the Alberta took more material off beyond just the bark and quickly got down to business removing the bark as well as some of the wood underneath the bark. The finish was still nice, but it was obvious that it was taking more material off of the logs and not just the bark. That being said, the Alberta allowed me to remove bark from the logs faster, but the force it creates is a beast, and you absolutely have to hold on to the Makita securely while operating it with the Alberta disc. It would shoot shavings everywhere, and if you aren't careful, it would grind a hole in the log. The aggressive peeling of the Alberta will tire your arms out faster than the default LahZit setting. The Alberta, however, didn't leave red marks on the logs like the LahZit did. If you have experience using one of these log peelers or a different one, please leave a comment and a link down below so that we can check it out. And if you're finding this video informative, please give it a like. Thank you. Okay, the next thing I noticed is that most of my logs are not straight and have bends in them. The LahZit would not let me dig into the low areas and remove the bark, and that was really frustrating. I did not experience this problem with the Alberta disc. The reason why is clear. Look at the underside of these two discs. Notice the LahZit is flat and the Alberta curves at the edge, allowing you to dig into those low spots and remove harder to get bark areas. Another thing I noticed with the LahZit that I didn't run into with the Alberta is that the LahZit would get gummed up with shavings. I'd have to stop what I was doing and clean it out regularly. This is kind of a pain and may have contributed to the red marks the LahZit was leaving on my logs. I want to take a moment and let you know that my daughter Margaret is a local realtor in Southern Maine, covering York County. So if you're looking to buy or sell real estate in that area, please give her a call, shoot her a text, send her an email, or favorite, schedule Zoom. She can help you find a great deal in Southern Maine. Thanks. Overall, guys, I would say that I liked using both of these bark peelers. I think next I would like to try the Log Wizard or a similar knockoff that I found on Amazon. Please leave a comment down below if you have experience with a tool like this. I decided not to try this log peeler because I feared that it would leave a finish on the logs that I didn't like. Like I said earlier, a lot of this comes down to personal preference. The Log Wizard could be just the peeler you are looking for, and it is much less expensive. When finished, I'm shooting for an interior of the cabin that looks like this picture I took of a camp that I stayed at often as a little boy that is still in our family. The Alberta disc gave me sort of a hand-planed look on the logs, and I really liked that when I couldn't just peel the bark off by hand. It's really all about personal preferences, and both of these peelers will do the job for you. If you have questions, please leave them down below. Okay, it's time to get to work on that tiny cabin. I'll be posting lots of videos on that. Make sure you subscribe if that's the type of thing that you want to learn about. And if you want to learn more about some of the things we're going through to build this campground in Southern Maine, watch this next video.